Welcome to The Explainer. So, have you ever had that feeling, that deep down feeling that you're living a smaller life than you were meant for? Today, we're digging into this really profound spiritual parable that's all about that exact idea. It's a story that's designed to help us uncover our true and maybe forgotten royal nature.
Our whole exploration today kicks off with a really fascinating problem. I mean, think about it. Our language, our thoughts, our bodies, they're all finite. They have limits, right? But the deep truths we're trying to get at, those are infinite. They're boundless. So the big question is, how in the world can you use a limited tool to describe something that has no limits? Well, according to this teaching, the solution is to kind of bypass words entirely. Look, books and talks are great, they have their place, but the true truth, as it's called, isn't something that's spoken. It's transmitted directly, like a flash of insight that zips from one mind to another without a single word being said out loud. Okay, so to get to this kind of awareness, the teaching lays out two really distinct approaches, two completely different paths, but they're both aiming for the exact same destination. So on one side, you have the external path. This is called the false doctrine, and it's all about the stuff you do on the outside. Rituals, chanting, even just studying really hard. The source calls this the ABCs. It can help you learn to read, sure, but it's not the story itself. Then you've got the true doctrine, which is all internal. It's not about studying the map, it's about the direct personal feeling of actually arriving. So how does this inner path actually work? Well, it works through something called the mind seal. Now, this isn't a lesson you learn. It's more like lighting one candle from another. It's a direct transmission where a master's own awakened awareness sparks that exact same understanding inside a student. It's that sudden inner aha moment that just doesn't need any words at all.
I know, an idea like the mind seal can sound a little out there, a bit abstract. So, to make it totally crystal clear, the teaching gives us this incredible, powerful story. All right, let's dive into this thing. The story kicks off with a prince who gets lost at birth and ends up being raised by a beggar with no clue about his real identity. Now, this prince, he's a metaphor for us. The teaching is basically saying that our own true nature is noble and free, that we're all born royalty, even if we have no idea. So with absolutely no memory of the palace, the prince grows up totally believing he is a beggar. His whole life is just hardship and struggle. And this is supposed to represent our everyday human life. We're suffering simply because we've completely forgotten who we really are. But here's the thing. The king never stopped looking for him. And after years and years, a royal messenger finally finds the boy, living in rags on the street. This messenger, he represents the enlightened master, a guide who's about to drop a truth bomb that's going to shatter the beggar's entire reality. The messenger gives him this incredible news. You are not a beggar. You are the prince. Your father is waiting. Come home. And this is the story's version of that call to awaken. That moment when someone tells you that who you are is infinitely bigger and grander than you ever let yourself believe.
But just hearing the truth? Well, that's not enough. The messenger's job is actually far from over, because the prince doesn't just jump for joy and sprint back to the palace. Oh no.
The prince's reaction is just pure fear and doubt. His entire life, he's been a beggar. The idea of being a prince is so huge, so overwhelming, he just can't accept it. He feels like he's not worthy. He's weirdly attached to the struggle he knows. And isn't that just so relatable? It just goes to show how powerful our old habits and beliefs about ourselves are, even when something way better is right there in front of us.
And here is the absolute key to the whole story. The messenger can't make the beggar a prince. He doesn't need to. The boy already is one. The guide's only job is to deliver the news and point the way home. They can't walk the path for you. You have to be the one to choose to take that first step. So, if the prince has to walk this path himself, what does that journey home, that journey of awakening, actually look like? Well, the parable lays it out for us in 4 pretty clear steps. So the process is laid out like this. First, you gotta find and really trust the guide, the messenger. Second, you receive some kind of inner proof, that mind seal. It's like the messenger giving the prince fine clothes and a horse, giving him a little taste of his real status. Third, you start the long, hard work of shedding those old beggar habits, the training you need to start thinking and acting like royalty. And finally, you arrive at the palace and reclaim the throne, which is, full enlightenment.
But the story gives us a pretty big warning here. This is not a quick trip. The path back is long, and the prince is constantly tempted to just go back to being a beggar. Because, hey, at least it's familiar. It's such a powerful reminder that changing who we think we are at our core takes incredible patience and persistence. So ultimately, what this whole parable does is it puts a fundamental choice in front of each and every one of us. It's not about what we do, it's about how we see ourselves. So you have these two mindsets kind of living side by side. The beggar's mindset, that's all about fear, doubt, and being chained to the habits of the past. It's always looking outside for answers. But the prince's mindset, once it's been woken up, that's all about trusting that inner knowing, getting on that journey home, and patiently taking back the truth of who you really are. And this really brings us to the most powerful insight in this whole thing. The spiritual journey isn't about becoming someone new. It is not about turning a beggar into a prince. The truth is, you were the prince the whole time. The entire journey is just a process of remembering your original face, the one you had before you forgot. So, the parable leaves us with one final question. When you really look at your thoughts, your habits, your deepest sense of who you are you living as the prince or as the beggar?